Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about the if statement in Java. So I'll be running this example inside of the main method, okay? And here I have what's called an if statement, okay? And so let's take a look at and see what this if statement is composed of. So here it starts with the word if, okay? And then we have an opening and closing parentheses, and then we have something inside. Let me just delete that for just a second, okay? And then we have an opening and closing curly brace with some statement inside, okay? Some code in there. All right, so the way it works is whatever's inside the parentheses, if it equates to true, it'll run whatever's inside of the body, okay? If it equates to false, then it'll skip it, and it's as simple as that, okay? So let's see what kind of stuff we can put inside of the parentheses. So we could type in the word true, okay, and it'll always run this, okay. Not really sure why we would want that, right? We want it to make its own decision based off different variables and everything, right? So here we're just hard coding it. So the way to read this is if true, which it'll always be true, right? Because we're hard coding the expression here true. So if true, run this, okay? And that's it. And then it'll just continue on to read the rest of the lines. Remember, this line of code here is inside of the if body, okay? So the only line of code in question here is this one, okay? So if true, run this, and then just continue, okay? Now, if I were to change this to false, okay, the way to read this is if false, don't run this, okay? So it's the complete opposite, all right? So let's look at an example that's a bit more realistic, okay? So let's say, okay, we have the number 1 and we have the number 3, okay? Now this right here is the less than sign, and you can tell because it sort of looks like a slanted L, L for less than, okay? So tell me, is this expression true or false? Is 1 less than 3? Last time I checked, it was. So 1 is less than 3, so it will run this, okay? So if we go ahead and run this, let's take a look and see what the console shows. So it does show A, and then it does show B and C, okay? B and C will always be printed out to the console because it's out of the if statement body, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and just flip this around. And now this says 1 is greater than 3, okay? So if 1 is greater than 3, run this. So do you think it'll run it? Okay, is 1 really great? Is 1 greater than 3? Well, let's find out. Let's go ahead and run this. And it's not, right? I mean, obviously it's not. 1 is not greater than 3. It's less than 3. So it says here, if 1 is greater than 3, run this, okay? And that's not the case, and that's why it's not printing out the letter A. Okay, it's as simple as that. So just keep in mind, whatever's inside the parentheses, if it equates to true, then it'll run whatever you have here inside of the body. And you can have as many statements as you want. Okay, so we can add another one real quick. And we'll call this one A1. Okay, so if 1 is greater than 3, it'll print those 2 lines. Of course, that's not true, so it's not going to print any of those. But if we flip this one around, okay, now it says if 1 is less than 3, we'll go ahead and run this again. And of course, it'll print those 2 lines, okay? So if it equates to true, it'll run it, okay? It'll run whatever's inside. If it equates to false, it'll skip whatever's inside of the body, and it'll just continue on with the rest of the application, okay? Hopefully that made some sense. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks.